Listen, not only Freddie Hudson, not only his wife, not only Randy and Donna Perry. How about this guy from Allwood Stable? You remember Allwood Stable? The greatest stable. Chapman was a private trainer. Oh my God, Leonard Buck, right here. Say hello to him and his family. They put all this stuff together. These people you think would never think of this stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable how they put this thing together. And I want to tell you one thing. Roosevelt Raceway, we had the greatest trainers, drivers in the nation. I'm telling people, if you didn't race at Roosevelt, you were nobody. Or Yonkers. I mean, that was it. That was it. When you were in the harness business, you wanted to come to this big place, and that was it. That made, how about you Canadians? Raymond, Larry, Ray, you want to come to the big city, right or wrong? Tell them, right there, Western Canada, you want to come down to Roosevelt, Yonkers, Meadowlands. That's what's happening. And anybody else want to have a good story about the Roosevelt Raceway?
One good one I got.
All right, come on down. Tell me who you is.
I'm Joe Barbera. I'm an owner going back to the Del Insco days.
With a toothpick.
All right, Del with the tooth. This is to say hi to Del if he's listening on any show or anything or sees it. He was a wonderful man. We miss him. He's not here. I was also with Butch Dokie, and one of the stories I'll tell is about Butch Dokie. Now, Butch Dokie's driving horses, and a trainer named Lee Benson has a horse called Sea Train. So Dokie had driven the horse, and he drove him from behind, and he didn't do so good, so the owners were all ticked off at Sea Train. So Mr. Benson gets a hold of Dokie and goes, look, I want you to go on the front end, the owners want you on the front end, and they don't care what you have to do. So Butch takes the horse, and he goes 1,000,000 miles an hour, gets to the quarter, can't get the lead. Goes to the half, still can't get the lead, and he's trying like hell. 3/4 pole, he's neck and neck with the horse in front. They hit the stretch and he comes to a dead stop. So Dokie comes back after the race, he hands the reins to Mr. Benson. I said, Mr. Benson, you just drove a hell of a race.
How about Sea Train? Not only was a great story, he was at Gelding. And how about Webster? We're at the Little Brown Jug, right? Benny Webster on the reins, right? Into the winner's circle where only winners come. Sea Train. Benny Webster up. Greatest, one of the greatest moments in your business, right, Benny? Right or wrong, right or wrong. Then you win the Hamiltonian too with a claiming horse. I should have claimed that horse. You told me to claim that horse 4 weeks ago. He had a horse in the Hamiltonian. Skip Lewis is in a 25 or 30 claimer? Huh? 35. I only had 25, so that was a problem. So, and he won the Hamiltonian. It was how many weeks later? 3 or 4 weeks. That's a great story too. Come on, anybody got any great stories? Come on, we need another story or two. Come on down. All right, all right. His wife used to be the beautiful long-haired, dark-haired girl there. She's sitting over there.
Okay, my name is Thomas Foster, and when I first came into the business, basically right out of college, I hooked up with a gentleman by the name of Eddie Cobb. And a story that will really hit home to a lot of people. And it so happens I'm not married quite as long as Billy, but Billy does remember my family and my wife. And Eddie had a horse that was owned by his father by the name of Matt B. And this was the first time that I drove a horse at Roosevelt Raceway. And back in those days, you had to first get a P license and you had to race out of town. And Matt B goes on the track. We're coming around the last turn. A perfect position for the horse to win, and sure enough, he does. And after the race is over, Eddie, who was on the fence with my wife, watching the race, says, I knew I should have bet that horse, just in the only way that Eddie Cobb could speak. Well, Corey, I know I should have bet on that horse tonight, because he paid $45. And for me, that was the start of a career that was absolutely unbelievable, because being at Roosevelt Raceway, I could come home every day to be with my kids in the afternoon. I ended up getting some fantastic owners by the name of Itzhar Glazer and Norman Brill, And I had a stable that was excellent through the 70s and 80s. And that's a little story that I'm happy to share with you folks tonight.
All right, thank you. I want Mr. Manzi come on up here and say a couple words here. He's been with the horse business, his brother, his cousin, his uncle, his nephew, his uncles, grandfathers, everybody. They put Monticello on the racetrack, and then he's got a few of them doing pretty good still.
Yeah, we're still going here. What a nice party here. Happy birthday, FXP. Where are you? I really don't have too much to tell about Roosevelt Raceway, though I was there. My folks raced horses there. My Uncle Al was a strikebreaker, the Cat's dad, in 1957. Some of you guys may go back that far. I don't know if that was a popular thing to do, but they raced double heats back then. I think it might have been at Yonkers that had happened, though. But I was at Roosevelt Raceway in 1967. I was looking for a job. I got a job with a guy by the name of Skip Lewis. I was his second trainer. And Skip had a big stable back then. Benny was driving a lot. Russell Reyes. Is Russell still around, Russ Reyes?
Russell Rath, in Maryland.
Is he still around? The Meyer boys. Nobody ever talks about the Meyer boys, too. Billy Meyer, Alan Meyer. Those guys were tough to beat. Bobby Cherricks. I remember them all. How you know them all? You beat their ass every night, too. But anyway, I worked for Skip, and I used to warm up a lot of horses, and I wasn't real happy back then because I was an aspiring driver. I wanted to be like Billy or like Buddy or Benny or Lucia, but just didn't work out too good. But anyway, I worked there, and one weekend I worked for about 3 or 4 months, maybe not that long, maybe 2 months or 3 months. Lived in the tack room, the office we called it. It's not a bad deal, you know. You lived in a tack room too, Jimmy, back when you were a kid. We all did. That's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, I decided, you know, my dad had some horses, and I was going to go race up and go to the big time, to Green Mountain Park. And I skipped away for a weekend, and Skip found out that I wasn't sick. And the only guy that ever fired me, ever, was Skip Lewis. I'm going on record. Never was fired in my life, but Skip Lewis was the only guy that ever did that. But I had a lot of great memories at Roosevelt and the Yonkers Raceway, and that was the giant, you know, to get down there for the guys from Monticello, which is my hometown, where I've been there since 1974. So Jimmy Marone started up there, so a lot of guys started up there. The Catman was from there, and of course Carmine started there. I got a great story about Carmine up there. Where are you, Red Man?
He snuck out.
He snuck out. I was in the race. You know, I always thought I could drive a horse, but I guess I couldn't. But.
You're on the clock now.
Okay. You'll call me up here, damn it. I'm going to talk now.
You're not in Monticello now. You're here.
All right.
You're on the clock.
I want to tell this, though, about Carmine. I'm in behind Carmine one time going in the first turn at Monticello, and there's a guy on the outside, and the guy says to Carmine, "Let me go. Let me go." And Carmine looks over to him and says, "What do you think we're doing out here, flying pigeons?" And I remember when Luce won all 4 ends of the twin double. I'm on time here, all right? I saved a few words for you here, all right? Okay? I know all these guys here, and it's great to be a part of it. I'm really glad to be a part of this game, and with the great folks like you. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to end this thing pretty quick because they're on the clock. The only thing I want to say, it's a shame that Lucian and Benny Webster are not in the Hall of Fame. And I'm telling you, these people are there. You got some of the greatest horsemen in the business there, and hopefully sooner or later they'll make it. And John Kopich, you want to say anything about Avatella stealing all your whips? Come on down. And this is it. This is the last one, and then Freddie, and you're going to take over, and we're going to go from there.
Well, I think everybody here knows how frugal Carmine is, and when I saw him here tonight, I wanted to know who bought him the ticket. Great seeing everybody.
All right.